He was an eye doctor, and he said, your eyes have so much information. If you can take an x-ray of the eye or whatever, you look at that, he said, I can tell you when you've had traumatic experiences or great blood loss, all these kind of things.
I said, Luke, come on now, you don't want to be a plastic surgeon, get to work on the body head to toe? Because no, Dad, I've seen all you do. I want to just stick to one organ.
That's funny. Now, here's another thing I know. Your children, I've always admired the fact that, Vince, you and Diane, you raised some great kids, and you did a good job. And education-wise, all of your children went to Ivy League schools. What's the system or the secret?
Well,
probably
you're interviewing the wrong person. No. You said it was me and Diane.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is Diane. But like our parents, we emphasize education.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't let I say we, but Diane's rule was there was no TV during the week.
Mm.
There's no TV from Sunday night to Thursday night. You can watch TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or Friday, Saturday, I guess. Depending on what you're homework on Monday or whatever. And so we knew that you come home, you're either going to do homework. If you're not doing homework, you're reading a book, or we're sitting around talking about school. And, Diane's expectations, and Diane, I'm not telling you anything.
Wonderful. Right, yes, right. I like her.
Expectations were that the kids were going to bring home A's.
Yeah.
When I meet parents and I go, how's your kid doing in school? They go, they were an A-B student. I kind of get nervous, like, B's?
Yeah.
B's too?
Wasn't allowed.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, that's right.
But in our household, we expected A's.
Yeah.
We expected A's. And if they had trouble, we went to school and talked to the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because so few people take advantage of this. But if you go to the teacher and say, Mr. Johnson, my kid's in your class, and they seem to be getting close to a B, and we want them to get an A, how would they do that? Well, the first thing Mr. Johnson knows is, okay, well, these are some serious people.
That's right. That's right.
They're not happy with their kid getting a B. They go, well, obviously this is the curriculum, and there's some extra books if they want to read that. Oh, great. What's the name of those books?
Oh, wow.
And if they have any trouble with this, they can always come by and see me. What time can they come see you?
Oh, yeah.
And it just becomes a whole different dynamic. Like, I think that teacher sort of feels like, I got to make sure,
That's right.
This kid's trying to get me, and they're not joking.
Oh, I love that. I love the fact that you were intentional about making sure that those children were going to get step by step their education. I like that.
And they were also had the misfortune of, like I said before, I went to Princeton and I went to Columbia. So we both went to Ivy League schools.
Yes.
So we want you guys to go to a good college.
Yeah, I want to hear about this.
Any parent, obviously we want our kids to do better than the parents.
Yeah.
So what else would you expect?
Yeah,
right?
and each kid, tell me which school they went to, and maybe perhaps what their major and what they're doing today.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So my oldest is Natalia. Natalia.
Beautiful, great spirit. I've met her.
Oh, yeah, thank you. She went to Princeton, which is my alma mater. So she, obviously, of all my kids, went to the best school possible.
Yeah.
But she went to Princeton. She majored in English and theater. She, while she was there, she didn't know it at the time, but she met the man who would be her husband.
Oh, wow.
And that comes along later in the story.
Yep.
So he's also a Princeton graduate. But she went on to get a master's in fine arts at NYU.
Right. Wow.
And that was an investment for her.
Yeah.
So Mommy and Daddy helped with undergraduate, but you have to pitch in.
Take the graduate. Yep. I watched a play. You invited me to this one time. Yeah. I thought it was phenomenal, written great. It should have been on a bigger scale. It should have taken off everywhere because she just did good work. And that talent everywhere just flowing out of you. So, all right, now what's the others?
The second one is Julia, and Julia went to Yale. That's difficult for me to say, and it's difficult for me to write those checks to my
right.
Someone going to Alabama writing checks.
That's right.
It's like, oh my gosh, tuition checks in this place. But she did fantastic. She has a heart for helping people, and she went on to get a master's in public health. And then she worked with Samaritan's Purse and other agencies, going overseas, working in Greece and working in the Philippines, water sanitation, the refugee crisis that was going on at that time. At some point, she realized that with her education, she was going to get further and further from the people she was trying to help. Because they get you doing administrative work and planning and policy. And so she decided to go to medical school. Yeah. And so she started medical school. She graduated a few days ago. And pursue ENT.
Oh, wow. You can't help but be proud of and look at them and say, well, those kids did it. You believed in them, but look at them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she was on a mission field, I think, at one time when we were down in Orlando together.
Right.
A difficult time there.
She started having some medical issues, and we got worried because, of course, she's far from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you prayed with us for her, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
She did well. So.
Oh, it's a great girl. Absolutely. Again. And then was Luke next?
Luke is next.
Uh-huh.
He went to Dartmouth. So as you can tell the pattern, each kid's going through their own school.
Yeah, they're individuals.
Yeah, so he went to Dartmouth. Dartmouth is the school that inspired the movie Animal House.
Okay.
So you can imagine, like, okay.
Yeah.
He went to Dartmouth. He majored in philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And his Christian faith blossomed tremendously while he was there, in part because he got exposed to a group called Christian Union.
Yes. Yeah, you made me aware of this great organization.
Oh, yeah. So there are these college campuses where quite frankly, Christianity is way in the back.
That's right.
These schools were all started, Princeton, Yale, Dartmouth, were all started as Christian universities.
That's right.
And that was a big part of their instruction,
Mm-hmm.
was biblical instruction. And it seems like the furthest thing now.
Yeah, they've drifted so far and gone in a different direction. And it's true, Christian Union is probably one of the best ministries unknown to a lot of people, but you were the one that introduced me to it. Mm-hmm. And they have campuses, or they have like Bible study places and a ministry going on, an active ministry in most of the Ivy League schools.
Yeah, in fact, and as of today, we're in all the Ivy League schools.
Wow.
And Stanford and Harvard Law School.
Wow.
And then they're also doing what they call Christian Union cities, where they focus on cities that young people go to, like New York or Washington, D.C. and so forth. So that when you leave college, you still can have some kind of a
to
nurture your faith.
Yeah, the Christian faith, what they've done is helped a lot of these students that came there that were just coming to get an academic degree and then go to do a career, but they've given them a fellowship and then taught them the gospel. Mm-hmm. I love it.
So Luke's going to a party school and coming out a stronger Christian than he came in was fantastic. And then, my baby. Oh, I'm sorry.
And Luke's going to med school now, right?
Yeah. School, yes, he took a gap year and he worked over here at Northside Hospital and wanted to make sure that he wanted to be a doctor and not a rap star. That was his. Doctor was his backup career.
Okay.
He didn't make it in rap music. Yeah. And he did. He made it and went to University of Southern California for med school. I should have mentioned that Julie went to the University of Chicago and did very well there, and then got a residency for ophthalmology.
Yeah.
Which is what he's working on now.
Yeah. So now that's basically all of that with the eye, right?
All with the eye.
Yeah.
And I said, Luke, come on now. You don't want to be a plastic surgeon, get to work on the body head to toe? Because no, Dad, I've seen all you do. I want to just stick to one organ.
That's funny.
Now, before you finish this episode of the BP Leadership Podcast, I want to stop and tell you that if you have not read this book right here, Bill Purvis's personal book about his life, Make a Break for It, that he wrote just a few years ago, you need to stop this podcast right now. You need to go to our website, buy this book, and then you can come back. This podcast will be here when you get back. You don't need to wait another second until you get and read this book. It's an incredible story all about how Bill, when he was only 17 years old, was bleeding out, had been stabbed to death, should have died, but he cried out to God and God saved his life. Then it's all about the incredible journey of what happened from there. From God calling him to be a pastor to then calling him to be a pastor of a small little bitty old church with no pay, of only 32 people in attendance its first Easter Sunday that he was pastor, to the over 10,000 people that were at the last Easter service that he was senior pastor before he retired. It's an incredible story about hope, about redemption, also about God's love and his faith through one person, what he can do that benefits others. It's an incredible story, and you get some amazing personal faith and life lessons from it, as well as some awesome leadership lessons. So you need to buy this book for yourself, for a friend, a family member, whatever it may be. Buy this book, go to our website, bpleadership.com, go to our online shop, and get Make a Break for It today.
You know what, I heard this, and I don't know, it's such a field that I'm intrigued about, but it's so different, but wonderful, is I heard a man tell me one time, he was an eye doctor, and he said, your eyes have so much information. If you can take an x-ray of the eye or whatever, you look at that, he said, I can tell you when you've had traumatic experiences or great blood loss, all these kind of things. And
There's one day you should talk to Luke about all those things.
Yeah.
But there is some truth. I know there's truth to it. Even when I was in medical school, they said you can look inside the back of the eye, the retina, and you look at the blood vessels and kind of know if they have hypertension or atherosclerosis. And a lot, they say eyes are the windows of the soul.
Yeah.
They're the windows to the body, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information that can be ascertained from examining the eye.
That's the thing. Honestly, in medicine, what impresses me with what you do is the body. There's so much. I mean, you have to me, I say, how do you not believe there's a creator? The way that this human body is designed, and there's so much to know, and it's always giving you so much information if you know how to read it.
Yeah.
And,
it's phenomenal. The human body is phenomenal, and I just, like you say, how can you not have faith?
Yeah.
Recently, I just, I spent a lot of time with non-believers for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable, and we're friendly, we talk, and
Yeah.
it makes me think. And I had a thought come the other day. I said, life is such a signature of a creator.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
you think about anything non-living
That's true.
and anything living, they're completely different.
Yes.
And only creation could explain it. And I said, if not, it would be like sending an expedition to Mars and finding a Chevy Impala there. Just rolling up and there's a Chevy Impala here. Let's go to Mars. And then thinking, I guess it just came up out of Mars.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you'd have to believe someone had to.
That's right. That's right. That's right. There's a divine designer,
Oh, yeah. So whenever I see things in the body and learn about, biology.
Yeah. I hear that a lot of times people will have heart problems and they'll say, I had a closed valve and another one rerouted, grew out and did it. And you think, how crazy. We knew a lady that was scared. She's going to have a bypass. She's a good Christian lady, elderly lady. And all she did was just pray. And the next thing you know, she comes back and gives us the report. The doctor says that I've created a whole new valve. Yeah. And
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. So the body wants to heal itself if we'll let it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like that's a program. That's not. Things don't do that. You don't drop a rock, it breaks, and then it tries to bring itself back together.
Yeah, that's right. And that's that thing again about design. I've heard the illustration about if you took a watch and take it all apart and you just throw it up in the air, and if it comes down and it's put together, tell an accurate time, are you going to say that's just, some kind of cosmic bang? Yeah.
Oh, it's just been amazing, kind of thinking through.
Yeah.
All these relationships. And,
well, we have a friend, Mike Bozak. I think you've met him. Yeah. Mike teaches physics at Auburn, and he told me that what really helped his faith was when he got into physics and science. He said it may have, some people may think it's opposed. He said the more I got into science, the more I saw a God. He said that I can't look at it now without just being overwhelmed by that creation. Yeah. And I guess it's just what part you choose.
Let me not get off track because I don't want to leave Brianna.
That's right. I want to hear it.
She's the youngest. And I want you to just think for a second what it feels like to be 16, 17 years old, finishing up high school, and your mother, father, 2 older sisters and brothers all going to Ivy League schools.
That'd be pressure.
I mean, you go to Duke, Vanderbilt, you're like a failure.
Yeah, that's right.
And Brianna rose up to the occasion. I mean, she was a little nervous about it all, but she worked and she studied the SATs, and she probably applied to more Ivy League schools than any other kids. And she was like, "There's 8. I'm going to apply to most of them and give myself a chance at one place or another." And she ended up going to Brown. And you probably know. When she got accepted, someone in the news saw this and said, "Oh, this is an interesting story."
Yeah.
And they kind of wrote the story about her family, but sort of based on her having that happen.
Yeah.
And
I saw the article about that. Yeah. So somebody passed it to me one day, and I read it, and it's fabulous. They said, "I know you know him and your friends." I said, "Yeah," and I read that thing again. Just maybe say, "But it's almost like you have whether you know it or not, like a system. It's like you could take an orphanage kid off the street, put them in your house, and they'd go to Ivy League school."
I've wondered that, but Diane says no more kids.
yeah. If we had known, we'd have sent you our children.
Is that right?
We'd have said, "Forget this. Yeah. You send yours to us. We'll talk about theology. We're going to send yours and ours to you."
It's just been really unique, but. And I think having the kids having each other helps.
Yeah, and how do they relate with each other?
They're super close. And, of course, when the only other person who can't watch TV is your sibling,
you gotta,
you're going to be close with them. So they're super close. They're competitive in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. You want to have fun one day. Come by and watch all of them around the dinner table and watch them debate topics and work with one another through things. And they all have faith. Mm-hmm. And their faiths are all they have different strengths.
Yeah.
And it's great just watching them, interact on that level as well.
I would think their interaction, because they're intellectual, because they've studied all their life, because they're comfortable with each other, so they can say things they may not say to a stranger. Yeah. I would think it'd be lively discussions and funny and
always lively and sometimes a lot less intellectual than you would imagine. It's just like whatever,
right?
But it can go from soup to nuts and. So that's the kids I've got. I mentioned Pete, Nat's husband, and mm-hmm. Julia married a University of Chicago law school graduate.
Yeah, and
he just fits right in. And I'll tell you, now it's like 6 of us in there just.
Now you had him walking one time. Was that who he came by the house one time? I was out at my yard, and y'all.
Yeah, during COVID, we were walking up and down.
Yeah. Old
River Road. It's a big hill.
It's a hill for the longest time, and he was sweating. Y'all were like, let's go, and he was so glad you stopped to talk to me. I spoke to him. He's like, oh, good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the BP Leadership Podcast. Now, I want to tell you about an opportunity that you have to receive full access to Bill Purvis's archives of over 200 leadership lessons that he has done over the years. All you have to do is sign up to become a BP Leadership member. For just $9.99 a month, you'll receive that full access to those archives on our website and our mobile app. You also get free entry into our monthly BP Leadership Breakfast live right here in the Columbus, Georgia area, as well as the opportunity to tune in virtually live to those events each and every month if you can't come in person. So make sure that you sign up and take advantage of this opportunity by signing up on our website, bpleadership.com.